I am Frank Sloan. I am a professor of health policy and management and economics at Duke University in Durham, North Carolina. I have been studying domestic violence and the role that the criminal justice system has in reducing rates of domestic violence. And we've been looking particularly at people who've been arrested for some form of domestic violence, which might be some charge like assault on a female, simple assault. And some of it is as bad as a felony, in which people are actually, there's like strangulation and some really horrible things. But the most common are sort of more bread and butter crimes, where somebody has injured someone else. Maybe there's no physical sign of it, but yet the person who is the victim alleges some harm and calls the police. The police come out, and the police in North Carolina aren't required to arrest someone. In some states, you're required to arrest either the man or the woman if it's a man and woman couple. And so what we uncovered is that even though we have a no-drop policy on the books, that no-drop policy is very generally not enforced. The prosecutor has a scarce amount of time, and if the prosecutor can't find a witness, the prosecutor knows this is going to be a much harder case to pursue, and prosecutors are so busy that they'll say, well, I'm not going to give priority to this case. I've got other cases where I've got good evidence, and I'll spend my time on these. We started North Carolina with about 30,000 arrests for domestic violence offenses a year. And those include a bunch of different kinds of crimes that fall under the heading of domestic violence. And so then we look at the percent that are prosecuted, and we lose from that 30,000 quite a few people. And then we look at of those who are prosecuted, how many are convicted, and we lose another bunch of people. And then we say, well, how many people either of those convicted go to jail or pay a fine, or pay a fine? And we find even smaller. So at the bottom of the sieve, we have like less than 7,000 people actually paying even $1 a fine or being sentenced to even a day in jail, from that original 30,000. And a lot of that is because the failure to prosecute these offenses. What the offender sort of learns is, well, she may call the cops, but maybe she won't again, but nothing really happens. So I can do this again because, I won't do, nothing will ever happen. It'll just be a bother. Maybe they'll take me down to the station, but I'm not going to pay any real consequences for this. I think what we can learn is that the simple application of criminal sanctions is ineffective. I'm pretty sure that there's nothing unique about North Carolina that would suggest it's only North Carolina, and and all the other states are perfect. It's very likely, and the literature would support that. I mean, there's nothing in the literature that says this state is, extremely effective and this other state's not. So there's a lesson that there may be treatment approaches that might work, other approaches, but sort of throwing in domestic violence into the pile of offenses when there are other, like substance abuse offenses and so forth, that the police deal with, that it's just very hard for these offenses to get that much attention.